What if I told you that the infrastructure and groundwork for the Antichrist system are already here? One of the biggest mistakes people make regarding the Antichrist is seeing him as a distant figure, far from prophecy, decades or centuries away. The reality is that many of the systems and structures that could support such a figure are already in place today. Recently, I had an intriguing conversation with a non-believer who surprisingly had a deep understanding of Christian eschatology. He mentioned that, although he wasn't a Christian, he felt he was slowly becoming one because of his beliefs about the Antichrist. This piqued my interest because I had never heard of anyone turning to the Bible or the Lord because of the Antichrist. He shared that the older he got and the more global events unfolded, the more he believed we were moving towards the scenarios depicted in the book of Revelation. He observed that with the increasing centralization of power worldwide, it seemed entirely plausible for an individual to rise and gain control over the entire world. He emphasized that it's no longer just plausible, but likely that we're approaching a time when we won't be able to buy or sell without a specific mark, echoing the prophecy of Revelation. This realization led him to question what else the Bible might be correct about. If it accurately describes these developments, he continued, noting that historically, nations have fiercely guarded their sovereignty. The United States, for example, fought for independence from Britain in the Revolutionary War, which began in 1775 and concluded with the Treaty of Paris in 1783. During this war, countless brave men gave their lives for the dream of a free nation. These men, whose names are often forgotten in the annals of history, exhibited extraordinary courage and sacrifice. Similarly, Greece fought for independence from the Ottoman Empire, beginning with the Greek War of Independence in 1821, achieving success with the recognition of Greek sovereignty in 1832. India also has a history of striving for self-governance, marked by the Indian independence movement, culminating in independence from British rule on August 15, 1947. Yet, in recent decades, there's been a shift. Countries are increasingly aligning themselves with unions and global bodies that influence their sovereignty, such as the EU, the expansion of NATO, and the influence of the United Nations and the World Economic Forum. It seems there's an invisible force pushing for centralized control. This trend of global integration manifests concern over the erosion of national sovereignty. Nations that once prized their independence are now part of a complex web of global governance, suggesting an unseen influence shaping these decisions. This led him to conclude that the aggressive push for centralized control might be preparing us for the Antichrist. This man stated that he sometimes thinks to himself, if the Bible could be right about this, what else is the Bible right about? Something significant is coming, and even a skeptic can see it's almost as if the world is being prepared for something or someone. As we stand on the brink of unprecedented technological advancements and centralized control becomes increasingly apparent, the arrival of the Antichrist might be closer than many of us realize. The Bible vividly describes a time when the Antichrist will wield global power, a scenario that seems alarmingly possible in today's world. From the rise of global institutions to advancements in surveillance technology, all signs point to the imminent unveiling of the Antichrist. This journey on the edge of prophecy's fulfillment demands our urgent attention. Time is short. The consolidation of power in global institutions is a phenomenon that frighteningly aligns with biblical prophecy. Organizations like NATO, the European Union, the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and the World Trade Organization wield influence that spans continents and impacts billions of lives. Imagine a scenario where a single individual rises to lead these bodies, commanding unparalleled authority over nations. This isn't a far-fetched idea, but a plausible reality given the current trajectory of global governance. This interdependence sets the stage for the Antichrist, who, according to Revelation 13, will exercise control over all nations. Revelation 13, 7 states, "And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations." The rapid advancement in technology provides the necessary tools for such control. Surveillance systems have evolved to the point where they can monitor virtually every aspect of our lives. Governments and corporations have access to unprecedented levels of personal data, allowing them to track movements, communications, and even thoughts. For some, this is the infrastructure that could support the kind of total control prophesied in the Bible. Imagine a world where your ability to travel, work, and even buy or sell is conditioned on compliance with a centralized authority. This isn't a distant dystopia, but an approaching reality. Technologies like digital IDs, biometric surveillance, and AI-driven monitoring systems are already in place. These technologies aren't in the distant future. They are here. The Bible warns of a time when no one will be able to buy or sell without the mark of the beast. This prophecy seems increasingly plausible as we see the groundwork being laid for such a system. Digital currencies and blockchain technology, while offering benefits, also have the potential to be used for unprecedented levels of financial control. Central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, are being explored by many nations, including major economies like China, the United States, and the European Union. These digital currencies could be programmed to control how money is spent, ensuring compliance with specific regulations or mandates. Imagine a world where your digital wallet can be shut off if you dissent against the prevailing authority. This is the ultimate expression of control and the fulfillment of the biblical prophecy of the mark of the beast. Imagine a world where your ability to travel, work, and even buy or sell is conditioned on compliance with a centralized authority. This isn't a distant dystopia, but an approaching reality. Technologies like digital IDs, biometric surveillance, and AI-driven monitoring systems are already in place. These technologies aren't in the distant future. They are here. The Bible warns of a time when no one will be able to buy or sell without the mark of the beast. This prophecy seems increasingly plausible as we see the groundwork being laid for such a system. Digital currencies and blockchain technology, while offering benefits, also have the potential to be used for unprecedented levels of financial control. Central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, are being explored by many nations, including major economies like China, the United States, and the European Union. These digital currencies could be programmed to control how money is spent, ensuring compliance with specific regulations or mandates. Imagine a world where your digital wallet can be shut off if you dissent against the prevailing authority. This is the ultimate expression of control and the fulfillment of the biblical prophecy of the mark of the beast. This slow march towards Revelation 13 is paving the way for the Antichrist's reign. Many people expect the Antichrist to make a dramatic entrance onto the world stage, but the reality is more insidious. The infrastructure for his reign is already in place, woven into the very fabric of our society. The Antichrist won't need to build his system from scratch. He will simply step into a ready-made structure of global control. This brings us to a critical point. The Antichrist has already been revealed through the systems and structures of this world. Centralized control, technological advancements, and the erosion of freedom are all indicators of his imminent rise to power. The Bible says the spirit of the Antichrist is already at work in the world. We are living in the final moments before the fulfillment of these prophecies. The signs are all around us for those who have eyes to see. The centralized control of global institutions, advancements in surveillance technology, and the gradual erosion of freedoms are all converging toward a singular point: the rise of the Antichrist. As we draw closer to this reality, it is imperative to remain vigilant and discern the times. The Bible calls us to be watchful and prepared so that we are not caught off guard by the unfolding events. The arrival of the Antichrist is not a distant future event, but an imminent reality that demands our urgent attention. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 9 to 10 states, "The coming of the lawless one will be in accordance with how Satan works. He will use all sorts of displays of power through signs and wonders that serve the lie, and all the ways that wickedness deceives those who are perishing. This deception will be so convincing that many will regard the Antichrist as a god." Satan, known as the father of lies, will leverage his expertise in deception to make the Antichrist's false divinity seem plausible and desirable to the masses. The Antichrist's rise will be facilitated by a world desperate for solutions to its most pressing problems. Economic instability, political turmoil, and social unrest will create an environment where his promises of peace, security, and prosperity will resonate with a weary, global population. This perceived benevolence will blind many to his true nature, making it easier for him to implement his agenda of total control and domination. If there is a being capable of crafting a religion so alluring and deceptive, it is Satan. This new religion created by Satan will be incredibly attractive to humanity. Revelation chapter 13, verses 13 to 14, describes the false prophet performing great wonders, even making fire come down from heaven to deceive the people of the earth. These miraculous signs will bolster the Antichrist's claim to divinity and lead many into deception. This new religion will be seen as the ultimate truth by the deceived, fulfilling Satan's long-held desire to be worshipped as a god. The Antichrist's religion will be meticulously designed to captivate and control. It will likely combine elements of various belief systems, philosophies, and ideologies to create a universal appeal. This syncretic approach will make it easier for people from different backgrounds to accept and embrace this new faith. Presenting himself as a unifying figure, the Antichrist will exploit humanity's longing for peace and unity, drawing them into his web of deception. The false prophet's signs and wonders will serve as powerful tools of persuasion. These supernatural displays will convince many that the Antichrist is indeed a divine being worthy of worship. The Bible warns that even the elect could be deceived by these signs, highlighting the profound nature of this deception. Satan's ultimate goal has always been to usurp God's place and be worshipped as a deity.